Hi, my name is Joe Dowdall, and I am a financial planner at Worth Asset Management, where I focus on helping people who are nearing or in retirement plan for their retirement with an emphasis on avoiding the many tax pitfalls that people encounter when they retire. Now, many of us work for literally decades to save up the money to be able to retire. And then when we do retire, we recognize we want an expert to help us, but we've never hired anyone before. So we don't really know the questions to ask. Well, I've been a financial planner here in this space for the last 15 years, so I wanted to share with you today the 5 questions I would ask if I were hiring a financial planner. These are the things I think you really should know to make sure you have hiring the person that's the right and best fit for you. The first question I would ask of any potential financial planner is, are you a fiduciary? Now, why is that important? What is a fiduciary? A fiduciary is someone who is obligated to put their client's interests first. So that means any advice that they give, any recommendations that they make needs to benefit the client before it benefits the planner. This is the area where people can get into really tough situations if they're not being careful, if they're hiring someone who doesn't have to put their interests first. Your 401k, your IRA, your retirement savings might be the biggest or second biggest asset you own. So making sure that you hire someone who is a fiduciary, in my opinion, is extremely important. Question number 2. Do you hold any credentials? What area of the market do you serve? In my situation, I work specifically with people who are retired or focused on retirement, with an emphasis on protecting them from the many tax pitfalls retirees face. So for myself, in addition to being a certified financial planner, which makes me a fiduciary, as I mentioned earlier, I also have several credentials and areas that I focus on that help me plan for people in retirement to, again, avoid those nasty tax pitfalls that are out there. How do you get paid? What are your fees? I know if I were hiring a financial planner or anybody to do any service for me, I would want to know exactly how they get paid. What is their incentive? Is there a conflict of interest? How are those fees calculated? In fact, I would suggest that any financial planner, this should be one of the things they tell you about. You shouldn't have to ask, but making sure you understand exactly how that person gets paid, I believe is extremely important. In fact, I would suggest if you can find a financial planner who gets paid when you do well, that aligns your goals and objectives, that's the best option. Question 4. What sets you apart from other financial planners? You know, one of the great things is there are lots of financial planners out there, and if you just Google it, I'm sure you can find many. Unfortunately, this makes it very challenging because most financial planners' websites, they're going to look very similar. So how do you know if that financial planner is right for you? I think you should be very direct. Ask that question of the financial planner, what makes you different? Is it their area of focus, how they get paid, their investment strategy? Make sure that what they're focusing on and what differentiates that particular individual is what's important to you as well. After all, this is a person that you're hopefully hiring to take care of one of your biggest assets, and also it's a long-term relationship. So making sure that that person aligns themselves with you, I believe, is extremely important. I think another important question to ask that potential financial planner is, what should I expect? And what happens if I'm not happy? So having that person lay out what you should expect hopefully would provide you some guardrails on that relationship. And you can judge how that relationship is going based upon what the planner or that financial advisor told you should expect. Now, as many good advisors as there are out there and wonderful clients, sometimes things just don't work out. So I would certainly make sure I understand what happens if I'm not happy. Are there any restrictions? If I decide to do something else in 6 months or a year, am I beholden to you in any way? Are there penalties for closing my account? What does that process look like? Now, these certainly are not all of the questions you should ask, but I would really emphasize, be direct. You know, this is, again, a relationship that hopefully you're going to have for many years. Make sure that you feel totally confident with that person, and don't make a decision until you feel comfortable. I know in my practice, We never make a decision until I ask that prospective client to sleep on it or pray about it, talk with their spouse, think about it. This is not a decision you should rush into, so making sure you're really comfortable, I believe, is paramount. Now, if you'd like to visit with me or talk about your situation, I'm always happy to do that. You can reach me at 469-423-1989 or at joe@worth asset management. Thank you, and I hope this helps.